Do not let Tron in the system.
Hi, this is World of RVG and RVG's music and RVG's world. And today's video, I'm going to focus on showing you guys the processes that I go through in making some of the videos that I do, and the mixes as well. So I'll start off and just kind of showing you just the basics of what I go through to make the videos for YouTube and TikTok. So here we go. So first off, in making my videos, I'm going to show you the Reloop Touch. This is what I use to kind of springboard my video, making mixes for my music. And I don't usually use the touch. I usually use just the interface, which is the virtual DG software. That is basically, if you look at it, it's the same thing as the Reloop Touch. Same exact interface. So, and this is where I go to in making my music and creating all the, the music to the videos. Yeah, when I come and use the interface here on the computer, it just makes it easier to move through the library and add whatever music that I need to for the mixes. Now I have everything on the hard drive already in the folders under the virtual music, and these are all where the stems are, originally prepared, and then I just transfer everything over to this library here that it keeps on the computer in the actual software. This way it makes it easier to move through the tracks from one to another, just add whatever I need. If I'm trying to add more, try to add music to make a mix and try to match it up as far as the different songs, as far as the beats per minute, and what I'm trying to do to make this, to complete the audio. Now, when I'm going and creating music, I already have my library of music here, which I made stems and prepared it, so that way I can have a little more flexibility in the music like I'm using. And I'll give you just a general regards demo of that. So when you stem it, you can do more with dropping voices, dropping the melody, dropping the bass, or dropping the drums, or all three, or whichever one you want to use. You can add some other features here. Now this is the same thing you can do here on the Touch too, but I just prefer to use the interface here because it's just easier while I'm sitting here kind of going through the music to basically, move from one song to another and to mix it, between the songs and forth and back and forth, and just try different songs and try to find different beats to match. Now the fun part of this, making these mixes that I do to put on YouTube and TikTok, is I just don't just do the mixes, I make a visual representation of that. So what do I do in regards to that? I usually use, Final Cut Pro here, or now I've just been using DaVinci Resolve, and I like the some of the transitions and the color management tools that are in DaVinci Resolve, which is about 90% of it. If you download it, you got 90% of the program for free. So it's really a good program to utilize. And here's some of the things that I've created in regards to the stuff that you see me put out there on YouTube and TikTok. So I would strongly suggest that, you definitely need like an editing program, Final Cut Pro, or some people use Adobe Premiere. I like I said, I'm teaching myself to use DaVinci Resolve on top of Final Cut Pro that I already have. So this is what I use and go to for editing and the videos in regards to putting it out, what I put out there when I'm ready to complete my projects. Now, typically when I'm making my other videos for music and lyrics, I won't need to use the virtual DJ software. I just go and you put the music from the files that I have already and just put it onto the editing program and then transfer it in there in that way, and then just start the process of editing and matching up the beats. And that's another thing, you know, that's what's so good about the virtual DJ software that I use, rather than just going straight to the reloop, because I do have to match up the music to the video, and I will kind of talk about how I go about, you know, doing that. So I think the hardest part of making some of the music videos or music mixes and putting it into the editing programs is trying to match up the songs and especially the music mixes, because, you know, it's a different beat per minute. So you have to go into the editing program and then try to move up and down the videos as far as speeds in order to try to match and sync it. And that makes it a little harder. More time consuming, I guess, in that way. But I like the final product when it is, you know, really closely in sync. It just makes it, I think, a better experience. So that's at least that portion of just the music video, the music mixes. But just regular, the videos that I create, if I'm just creating stuff that I've done for the drone footage, I just pretty much just put my clips together into the editing program. And like I would do here, and just start putting it on the timeline here. And this will allow you, you know, to manipulate some of the clips, and you can put in transitions and make something, and then you can add the music. Now I like to try to add music in between some of the transitions, or make sure that the highs and lows of the music kind of go and flow with the transitions of the clips. So I do get a little technical as far as, you know, what I create, but it's fun. I enjoy it. And then, like I said, I transfer all that over to making like a 1 minute short for both YouTube Shorts and also TikTok, but also, you know, just making the full complete video and then having it on YouTube. And I think it just makes it a little more nicer, you know, product or content, you know, production, than just slapping things together, which, you know, you could do, but in some cases I think it's just, it feels like a better representation of what I'm trying to create. I hope in this video, I hope I inspired you to go and try some new things to add to your sandbox and add to the toolbox in regards to, you know, different processes, different ways you can add, you know, music or make music mixes, and then go and make a visual representation of it. And like I said, it's the same process I do with the music videos and the aerial photography. You know, I approach it the same way, making lyrical videos. It's all about, you know, just trying to find content, just trying something different, being creative, and then, you know, put it together and see what happens. And that's what I put out on TikTok and YouTube. And I hope that, you know, in general, that I've inspired you, and I hope inspire people to just try to do something different and try to, you know, express it in a different, your artistic, creative way, in a different way. So hopefully these processes you might try out, and like I said, try out editing programs and try out just different types of methods of music and photography, and see what you can put together. And hopefully this video helps. So this is WorldofRVG, RVG's music, and RVG's world, and hoping that, you know, mahalo, and hopefully, you know, inspire you to try some new things. Mahalo, and see you next time.